Houston Real Estate Radio starts right now.
Thanks for tuning in to Houston Real Estate Radio to learn more about real estate news and information you can use in your next real estate transaction. You can always find more about the guests that we have on the show on our website at HoustonRealEstateRadio.com. We'd like to have you join us on our fan page as well over on Facebook, and you can listen to us on iTunes and the iHeartRadio app as well. If you have a real estate question, call me, 281-882-8088, or you can tweet us your question over at hashtag HRER on Twitter. James and I have a great show lined up for you today. This Sunday, we're excited. We're going to begin with a coast-to-coast update in the first half hour of the show, where we're going to be talking with a couple of experts from the Miami market to the Las Vegas market, give you some updates across the country, and then later in the show, we're going to talk to some representatives from the Modern Home Tour that's coming to Houston. That's actually going to be taking place next weekend, so you want to hear all about that. We're even going to tell you about how you can save money on those tickets. So that's exciting news. It's going to be a great event next weekend. So go ahead and put that on your calendar. That's the Modern Home Tour here in Houston. So let's go ahead and get started. We have Brigid Prio on the line with us, and she specializes in the Miami real estate market. I bet it's a lot warmer there than it is here in Houston, huh?
Absolutely. Sunny greetings here from Miami. How are you?
Good. We're glad to have you on the show.
Hi, Brigid. Hey, tell us about the market there in Florida specifically, and what's going on in Miami right now.
The statistics are in for 2012, and I'm happy to report that Miami real estate really is on fire. We officially had over 30,000 properties transacted in 2012, and that is a all-time record for Miami-Dade County.
Wow.
Those are some surprising numbers. I bet most people didn't realize that, huh?
Absolutely. I think, Miami was neck and neck with Vegas and Southern California as far as being hit the hardest in the demise and the debacle, but we're leading the country back for sure. And Miami has a couple key things that don't exist perhaps in other areas of the country that have helped us to get through that inventory, these highs that were astronomical.
And what are those things?
I think number one is just that Miami is an awesome city. When they compare, to other cities of appeal in the country, our property values are still phenomenal. If you try New York or places on the waterfront, certainly, or places on golf courses and so forth. So for the well-to-do, or for people who are the baby boomers who are planning their next phase of living and where they'd like to be, Miami is always going to be having an appeal and a draw. But besides just people from the U.S. who want to come to Florida, we are sort of the capital of the Americas here. So many countries in Latin and Central America, Europe, we have Russians, we have Canadians. Miami has just grown into this incredible thing. Certainly it's tropical, but it's also become a hub of commerce, especially for the Americas. It is culturally matured. We have invested in our own infrastructure. We have the Adrian Arsht Center that has a full schedule of performances. Of course, we have the Miami Heat. We have the International Boat Show. We have Art Basel and some really, special locations that people desire.
So you have a lot of international buyers coming in.
Definitely have a lot of international buyers.
Soaking up some of that foreclosure inventory.
There's the snowbirds, but definitely a lot of Canadians, a lot of Brazilians, a lot of Venezuelans, a lot of Mexicans, Russians, and people who had vacationed here saw that combination of prices that were unheard of, plus the discount they get in the exchange for their dollars to U.S. dollars. It might be 50% less at the end of the day. And it was a no-brainer because they're coming anyway. They stay in hotels. Now they can stay in their own condo where they can lock up and go and come in as they please. A lot of people picked up properties just to put tenants in them, renters in them. And if they're buying, if they have the ability to buy cash, they really can be, income properties for them.
Right.
So, it's that whole combination of opportunity for sure. And I think a lot of people locally too took advantage. People got weary of putting, their reserves of cash in the stock market. They no longer were getting the interest that they used to be able to get in traditional things like CDs and other things at the bank.
Right.
If they had, if they could rely on the fact that Miami would bounce back, they could make a lot of money buying low, hanging on to it, with a long-term plan. You certainly weren't going to, flip it in in a year and make your money back. But a lot of people realized it was a good time. A lot of people also could make a lateral move from the single-family home they were in to a much bigger property at the same.
So you got some move-up buyers as well.
A lot of people took advantage.
What percentage of the buyers are investors, and what percentage are buying second homes of the international buyers that you were talking about?
I don't know that I have that exact statistic. I know that 60% of the transactions last year were cash.
Wow.
A lot of that is going to be international. I don't have the exact breakup between local and international, but that's a lot of cash transactions.
It is.
So that comes because people who are picking up the distressed, whether it's short sale or foreclosure, and there's a difference. As you know, the foreclosure or REO, if you hear, the public hears that word a lot, that means the bank already owns that asset, owns that property, and is, getting rid of it. Or the short sale, which is where there's, a back and forth with the current owner and the bank to take a price less than what's owed. A lot of those transactions have to be cash, or the buyer will never get it. If there's, 100 people, 50 people, 10 people off after a property.
So you're having a lot of competition in the market, multiple offers.
Oh, totally. I mean, I worked with someone, we had a great apartment come on the market at 9 o'clock in the morning, and by 12 o'clock we were there to see it. We submitted an offer by 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and there were 24 others.
That hasn't happened in years here.
24 others. Wow. And if you didn't have
That's
cash,
exciting.
You were gonna
Wow.
finance it, you would never be at the top. The bank or the seller would never put a financing offer above a cash offer because
sure.
the property has to appraise.
Right. Yeah, it just makes sense. I mean, you're always going to go cash over financing.
Never. So that's where a lot of the cash comes from. A lot of them are locals who just figure, go ahead and, take the money they have reserved because it's a good time to do it. And later, over time, you can, go back and possibly do a credit line on it. But to close, you need to have the cash.
Here in Houston, the rental market has really exploded. One, because, of course, investors have been buying up properties and renting them. But we have such an influx of people moving to Houston because we have a market that's still thriving and growing. And so many people are moving to our area every day. How is the rental market there? What are y'all seeing as far as rentals?
Huge. Let me peek through here because I've got that number too. So of those transactions for 2012, 51% of them were sales and 49% were rentals in all of that volume and transactions.
Wow.
As you said, a lot of people are buying property as income, investment. So
investment streams, yeah.
Rent. The other problem is, which is the flip side, it's the people who are losing their homes either through the short sale or foreclosure process, don't have the credit now.
They need to rent.
Yeah.
In some areas, prices, jump 13 to 25% on what they can get for the rental from the year prior.
If someone was looking to invest in Miami, what parts of town, what neighborhoods are hot right now?
I was but grew up here in Coral Gables, Florida, which is where my office is. And a good property comes on the market here, it'll be sold in 7 days. We have such a low inventory. It's, if it is priced not out of line, if it's priced well and in good condition, it'll sell right away. That particular market is down to 2 to 3 months of inventory.
That's great.
And what people are really looking for is that property that doesn't really need a new kitchen, a new bathroom, because in the heyday where you could buy the property and in the same breath put a credit line on the house so you could renovate the kitchen and the bathrooms, all together.
Yeah,
Right.
Those are gone.
those
You have
days
to
are gone.
wait 6 months possibly to do a credit line. So you need to have a house that you can live with as is, or keep a little bit of funding after the 15 or 20% down you need for the loan to be able to do a little bit of remodeling.
Bridget, we're going to have to go to a quick break. One last question for you, though. What about new construction? Are you seeing a lot of new home starts?
We are. Here in Miami, there was a lot of spec where the builder themselves would design a style they knew would sell,
Right.
carry it, sell it. More so now, it's a person who designed their custom, dream home and is building it with a builder. But there are 100 new projects going up in Miami-Dade County as far as condominiums. So
Fantastic.
that market is back. Here
That's
we thought we had, I don't even know the number, over 10,000 empty build.
I remember reading about it.
We didn't know how we were going to get rid of that inventory. They thought it was going to take a decade. We're already back.
That's fantastic. Fantastic. All right. Well, I am Shannon Register.
I'm James Brown.
And you're listening to Houston Real Estate Radio. Check us out on the web over at HoustonRealEstateRadio.com. We'll be right back.